guys remember, this 22-inch Craftsman self-propelled lawnmower I found on the way to selling a mower on the curb over there. Mr. Spooner, my neighbor, he's just leaving my house. Hey, Mr. Spooner.
Yes, sir.
You throwing this out finally?
What?
You throwing this out?
Yeah.
Oh, you're done with it?
Yep.
Did you?
And I just had it tuned up last year. It still runs.
Oh yeah?
But I can't push it anymore. I'm getting
Oh.
old.
Isn't that self-propelled though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to push it.
I know, but it don't.
Oh, so
again,
what?
I got a Toro now, and it goes like crazy.
Oh yeah? So you're happy
Yeah.
with it?
Yeah, sure.
Cool, I could use it.
Good. That's why I left it out.
You
here.
know I tinker with this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I picked it up and brought it back home. He says it runs. Came out and he says, yeah, it's hard to start. He just wasn't pulling it hard enough. He bought an electric one, which he doesn't have to worry about pulling. This thing ran just great. I don't remember me doing anything to it except shining it up and adding a little oil to it and gas. Oh, I did change the front wheels to brand new ones from a review that I did. Fixing a 21-inch, 22-inch Craftsman self-propelled lawnmower, and it was self-propelled in the front, but only one wheel turned because the teeth on the right one was bad. So they asked me if I needed anything, and I told them, well, I could use a couple of new wheels for that Craftsman Pull-On or Husqvarna AYP product. New wheels. I needed brand new teeth. Now these are actually better than the OEM ones. Why? Because the OEM ones are plastic. This is pure solid rubber, which provides excellent grippage. Let's install new wheels and blades on this. This is the Craftsman or Pull-On or AYP or Husqvarna, made by the same company. So you can see from the front, this one over here didn't turn. This one worked just fine. As you can see, this is plastic. I replaced it with one that has good teeth, but the tread is all worn out. Let's replace both these wheels. Changing lawnmower wheels very easy. Remove the wheel. I'm going to change the other. Two brand new wheels, rubber, solid, now ready to go. Anyway, some guy wants to buy it, or at least look at it. I got it listed for $275. Let's see if we get $275. Runs like a champ. Holy cow. There. I loaded it the Dan Charbonneau way. The Dan Charbonneau loading method. That's what I'll call it. So I'll meet him at the church, see if we sell this baby for $275. So as you saw, sold it to the guy. He fired his landscaper. He says, I've got two sons. I don't know why they're not doing any work, so I'm buying a lawnmower so my sons can take care of it. I let him start it up by himself, and he saw how easy it was to start. He loved it. I told him I had new wheels on there, and he thought it was a great deal. So no fuss, no muss. He was driving an F-150, talked about F-150. Sometimes you want to distract him from the actual sale at hand to get that camaraderie. You know, it's like, oh, you know, nice guy, blah, blah, blah. It's more likely of them wanting to buy it from you. Anyway, so $275 was the listing price. He gave me $280. He doesn't ask for change. I'm not going to offer change. You following what I'm saying? So listed it for $275. I got $280. Great sale. Great start to the day. Recently, I changed the headlights from regular to LED DRL system. The only thing on the front of my car that isn't LED are my fog lights. My friends over at LostFit sent me some fog light LED bulbs. We're gonna install them today. Opening up the box, we have some stickers, instruction manual, and in the box you have these modules that you would mount. Here are the LED bulbs itself. You would basically connect this 6-pin thing to that. Connect this into your existing wiring for your harness for the fog lights. Wow, what a difference! As you can see, it's a dual filament. You could turn it on for white, then turn it off, then turn it back on again, and it alternates white and yellow, which matches this. Look at the difference in clarity and brightness. From that to that. So it was super easy to install. This is the original bulb. As you can see, it's the same pattern, goes right into the fog light assembly. This is the input for the plug. So it's the same thing. I would just attach this to this. Screw that on so it's secure. All this is waterproof. And basically you just stick this LED bulb back into the fog light assembly and connect the plug here as opposed to there. Plug and play. And then I zip tied this circuit box to one of the brackets. Boom. Just that easy. 5 minutes. Installed LED fog lights. 2 seconds from LostFit. I'll leave a link in the description. Now back to the video. What is this? Could it be? Am I gonna sell 2 mowers in a day? Apparently, some guy messaged me on Craigslist. That's right. If you're not using Craigslist as well as Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp, you're missing out on a third of the possibilities of selling your equipment. If you only use OfferUp or you only use Facebook Marketplace, you think about the other avenues of selling online locally. There is, of course, Nextdoor and Mercari, but I don't really know too many people that use those things. So we'll just talk about 5% for Mercari, 5% for Nextdoor. But if you're just using Facebook Marketplace, you're missing out on probably 2/3 of your other platforms where you could be selling your stuff. So I have this listed for $175. I know, it's a lot of money for a simple Murray push mower. It does run really well. It is the primer bulb quantum engine type, and it has a throttle actually too. And this primer bulb seems to work pretty well. It actually runs really, really well. It's a good mower. You can just tell by the way the engine sounds. As you guys know, I picked this off the street at Mowers and Blood! Thanks to my friend Nikolai, who lives locally here. He's a gun guy too. Anyway, he was driving home one day and he saw it on the curb and he gave me a text message and told me the address. That's when I went to go pick it up, brought it home. The only thing I had to do to it was to remove this ugly rope that he had tied to this thing to keep it from closing. I just tightened this up and it's fixed. Yeah, that's not gonna... it had a really clogged air cleaner. Replace that. Put gas and oil in it. And I bent a little piece of the baffle that was sticking out that the blade was hitting. There. Here. The frame. Washer. It hasn't been stretched out. A little bit more, just... Oh! So that was all that was wrong with this thing. This thing runs great. Hopefully I'll sell it for something close to $175. I'm meeting the guy at the church right now. I just recently got my second shingles shot. Kicked my ass. I've been laid up in bed for the past 2 days. Today's the only day that I feel pretty good. But I had chills, I had a fever, crazy nightmares too.
Oh my God, what a fucking nightmare!
We're gonna be doing the Dan Charbonneau loading method, where you don't have to break your back doing it. Take the bagger off, line this up over there, just lift, slide. And you got the bulk of the mower on here without having to hurt your back. It's pretty good. It takes a couple of steps longer, but you know what? If you're by yourself and you're trying to load, it saves your back from any kind of stress. I've been practicing it. It works pretty good. Now off to the church where the guy should be waiting. We'll see if we get 175 out of this. It would be a great day if we sold 2 in a day. So how about it? So actually what I forgot was that he texted me from Craigslist, and it was a young guy too. So how about that? A young guy that actually looks at Craigslist, which is pretty much like an old school, old timers type of platform. But whatever sells, sells, whatever buys, buys, right? He had texted me about it and actually said, I'll pick it up today if you'll do 150. So I was more than happy to go down to 150 to get rid of it. You know what I mean? So that's what he gave me, 150 bucks. Along with the 275 I made this morning, we're netting 425 today. All from 2 mowers that I picked off the street, had very minor issues, didn't take me very long to fix them, and all I'm in for it is an air cleaner for that Murray. That's it. So picking up basically $425 off the street. Guy was also another F-150 owner. Talked a little bit about his truck. I'm not surprised that you run into so many F-150s because it is, after all, the best-selling truck in America. Excellent day. Hey, so it's the next day. Could I have 2 days of selling 3 things? I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Some guy messaged me about my Craftsman LT1000, the one that I painted from green to red. I did all kinds of stuff to it. Welded that shifter handle. This is a deck from a LT4000 that was converted to make it run on a 1000. It went from a bar engagement PTO to a cable engagement PTO. I did put a AGM battery in here from a review, but I listed it as brand new battery, so should fetch more money. Yes, I initially listed this for $800, and then I said, you know what? These are going for $1,000. Looks fantastic. So I listed it for $1,000. Guy's gonna come see it tomorrow, maybe. But to get it ready, I gotta make sure it runs. It's been sitting in my shed for months. Also, as you can see, the deck is already on the lowest setting and it's on the highest setting, but it's touching the ground because all 4 tires don't hold air for that period of time. I'm gonna shove some tire inflator in there, you know, fix a flat, and then mow my lawn, see if it holds up, just to make sure it runs. All right, it's been sitting in this shed for 3 months at least without it moving. Has a new 320 CCAs AGM battery. And I installed this a few months ago. Needs about a half a quart of oil. We'll ride this to the front when we mow the front yard and let's see if it starts up. Has a V-twin in it. I believe 20 horsepower. It's a good engine, from what I can remember. As you can see, it did a great job mowing my lawn. Look at my lawn. Looks fantastic. Periodically, after about a half hour of mowing, yeah, I mowed a long time, you could see puffs of smoke once in a while. And I remembered that maybe there might have been a small oil leak at the time that used to drop on the muffler and you would see a puff of smoke, you know what I mean? But then now when I just, you know, before I started, I checked and it was down like a quart, you know, or half a quart or something. So I just filled it up a little bit. When I opened the hood, this is what I saw. As you can see, there's significant amounts of wet oil that has dripped down. I don't know where it's coming from, but actually look, it actually has one of those oil caps where a oil filter should go. I don't know if I should put an oil filter on there or not, but I don't know where this is coming from. Engine runs fabulously. I had to refill gas again because this thing eats gas like crazy. It is like a 2-cylinder, you know what I mean? So I don't know what that is. I don't recall it, but it's significant. So I don't think in good conscience I could sell this to the guy, because I'm just going to end up having problems with it later, you know what I mean? It's going to bug me about it, so not even worth the trouble. So I might call it off, you know, tell him not to come, and so I can figure this out later. In the meantime, it's a good mower. What I also noticed is that when you step on the brake, it does stop, but not on a dime. It actually could roll a few inches afterwards. So on the brake, you could just turn the center nut, and that depresses the piston a little bit more so that it would be perfect. So I think a quarter turn would be just fine. And I can't even see it, so I'm just gonna feel around for it. Yeah, this one I'd have to remove the wheel to do it, but that's how you would do it. So while I could have sold this for $1,000 tomorrow, believe it or not, as a used lawnmower salesman, I do have a conscience.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Not to mention the fact that even if I did sell it to him, right? It's gonna know that it leaks oil eventually and smokes, so it's gonna come back to me. It's just more trouble than it's worth. Just when I find the time, I've got so many damn projects, I gotta figure out where that oil leak is coming from, rectify the problem, and maybe put a new oil filter on there, because it looks like you could take an oil filter. I have oil filters. But hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Selling 2 mowers in a day, which is unheard of. And I got almost double what I normally have gotten before the pandemic. That $280 Craftsman mower, I would have sold for maybe $150, $175 and been more than happy about it. To get an extra $100 out of it, just because of supply and demand, it's fantastic. So even if you don't sell that many mowers this year, you know you're getting more than 3 or 4 years ago for sure. So we'll come back to this another time. Dang, son. Of course, I have so many projects. Got to put this reminder. So you saw what happened. I was just cleaning up this oily mess, and my neighbor yells over at me. He goes, "Hey, you want a mower?" And I'm like, "Huh?" So I walk over there. He's like, "I just bought an Ego electric mower. It was on sale." So he got a great deal, by the way. Anyway, so he said this has been in his family for like 20 years. It still runs and mows, and he says you can have it. He's gonna throw it out. I'm like, all right, I'll take it. Primer bulb kind. It's got no gas. It feels a little funky. But I've seen him mow with it. Doesn't take too much to get it going. Maybe some gas. Either the crankshaft is bent or the blades are bent. Or the blade, there's a slight vibration, but it feels more like a crankshaft. You can tell the difference after a while. Scores. hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Ah, we don't gotta turn it up.
Oh, shit! Oh, that's great. I got that on video.
Why don't you click it in over here?
Hey y'all, it's Kylie here, and we'll see you next time on Mowers and Blowers.